Good afternoon. We're now going to cook porridges, a breakfast favorite. These are rolled oats. Here's a sample of how the oats look like. This is the main ingredient. Need about 1 builder's mug quantity of porridge oats, which is sufficient to actually feed 4 people, 4 friends for breakfast. This is the size of an ordinary builder's cup. You'll need hot water to be added to it. To save time, I use pre-boiled water. You need 1 pinch of sea salt, which is important for the recipe. I like to top it up with fruits, any fruit you like. I like peaches. And you can also alternatively like to top it up with some milk chocolate flakes, which I've got here. But any ordinary porridge you can use. There are hundreds of varieties in the supermarket. So we'll start off with whole grain roll oats, which is the one I like best. Excellent for the intestines as well. I always run by the principle that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Here are the porridges. You can use 1 builder's mug. Because I live alone, I like to use just half a builder's mug in the morning. And then you're supposed to add 4 builder's mugs worth of water to it to boil the porridge. And I've already used pre-boiled water, and as you can see, the heater is already on, so the heating has already begun. It really saves time in the morning because, let's face it, like most people, not in the best of moods in the morning. It's cold, it's rainy, I've just woken up, I've got a handover meeting to attend, I've got sick patients to see, or an MAU ward round, so you really want to get a move on things. So you want this to happen fast. So while I'm sipping coffee, I had 3 to 4 builder's mugs. I've added 3 in this instance, and then I turn on the heat, and the pre-boiled water and the oats will start to boil soon. This is the porridge being boiled. You can see it seems to have changed. It's become more softer. Keep boiling. I've already added at this stage some sea salt, a pinch of sea salt, but even ordinary salt will do if you don't have sea salt. You need to boil it for 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. And remember never to cook porridge with milk because the milk burns. You can add milk after cooking, but not at this stage. The end product should be when it is nice and thick. Nice and thickened. This is the end stage of boiling. It took about 15 minutes. Now this stage is ready to go into the bowl, and to that we'll add the milk. And here is the finished product. I've got half a cup of milk which I will add to it. Notice how I'm adding the milk right at the end, so that the milk does not burn. At this stage you can also stir it in. You might not need so much of milk according to your taste. You might only need 1/4 of a cup or just a sprinkle of milk, but I like a lot of milk in it. And now let's discuss a few variations of how this can be done. One variation is adding brown sugar on top. Another variation is adding golden syrup on top. Another variation is adding poppy seeds on top with desiccated coconut, topped up with cinnamon, or topped up with mashed banana. Only trouble is I'm allergic to banana, so I can't eat it. But you might like to eat bananas. Instead of bananas, what do I use? I use peaches. Let's grab a few peaches and let's add a few of them to the top. That way I get some fruits. Usually I add half of this stuff into my porridge. Another way is you might want to have some fun with it. You can also create straight lines if you're adding less amount of milk. Straight lines that look like gullies. You can see a few gullies I've created here. That's another way of eating it. Another way is adding stewed fruit with or without sugar. It's squashed fruit after heating the porridge, and you can watch the juices seep over. Another way is adding chocolate powder. Now normally you should not add chocolate powder to this after you've added fruits, but this is the Lindt chocolate powder just for demonstrating purposes. This is how you can decorate with chocolate powder. If you want to add both, that's right, you just invent a new recipe. You can also add crisscross gullies and pour milk into it like I mentioned. And lastly about sugar, that's debatable. I don't like to add sugar because we want it to be paleo. But if you want to add sugar, that's fine. You can add as much sugar as you like. And the porridge is more than ready to have for breakfast. It'll keep you going. And enjoy. Look at the glisten in the early morning sunrise. Brightens up your mood for what's going to come for the whole day. Enjoy, my dear friends. Porridge.